Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today in this stream where I talk about myself. So this is basically an introduction to who I am and what my path to game development was. Before I worked here, and before I worked at Eline Media, which was the company that kind of birthed Endless Studios, I was at a youth game making camp that they hosted. And so I was a participant who was learning about game development and how to make games and doing kind of that workshop-y educational aspect of it before I actually got a job here. And that's when I met a bunch of other folks around my age who were interested in game design, but I also met the games industry veterans who were working at Eline Media and made a lot of really good connections that way. So I learned a little bit about programming and art and how to use Unity. That was really my first introduction to how to implement things in Unity, because that's kind of a big hurdle. At first, when you don't know anything about game engines, it's kind of tricky to get into that. I had messed around a little bit on my own, but Eline Media at that summer camp, they taught me a little bit more about how to use that game engine, and that was a really important step. And of course, then they later offered me the internship, so that got me a big connection into this industry. So some of my favorite games, you might recognize a few of these titles. Portal 2 was actually the game that got me into video games. Huge fan of Portal. And some of these other games were kind of further steps along my journey to just having an interest in video games. So quick facts about me. I am currently a game design mentor at Endless Studios. I'm here to help you guys learn about game design, help with any questions that you have about our program and about how to use the website. I am also studying game design professionally at DigiPenn Institute of Technology, which is a college in the United States in Washington. They're one of the most well-known schools here for game design. So I graduate next year. I'm excited about that. I also have worked at Eline Media and Endless Studios as a design intern, kind of on and off for the past 3 years or so. As I said, I went to the summer camp as a student in high school, and I was offered an internship after that. If you watch this later and then have a question for me, shoot me a question on the Discord. Feel free to chat about stuff that I talked about in the Discord channels, or if you want, you can email me. But thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate taking the time to kind of meet me and be introduced to my path to game development. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys, or at least interesting a little bit. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen.